Welcome, dear friends, to my course on child growth psychology and child rights and protection. In this video lecture, we are going to speak about what are the learning objectives of the entire course and what are the early stages of development and what is the concept of childhood in this video. Childhood is a very unique period of our life, a period in which a child goes through a lot of changes. This stage is a golden period of our life in which the child undergoes all round development. In this section, we shall go through in detail the various developmental changes in childhood, concept of child and childhood, problems faced by children in their childhood, and the role of family, neighborhood, school and teacher. So in all these videos of this course, we will be covering the content of these subtopics. At the end of this section, you will be able to understand the early stages of development, explain various changes in early childhood and later childhood, clarify the concept of child and childhood. You will be able to discuss the various problems faced during childhood, and you will be able to explain the role of family, neighborhood, school and teacher in childhood. What are the early stages of development? Generally, human development can be dissolved into 5 stages. Prenatal period, that is conception to birth. Infancy period, it is from birth to 2 years. Then childhood period, 2 years to 11 years. Adolescence, from 12 years to 19 years. Adulthood, above 19 years. So the period when a mother conceives till the baby is delivered is called prenatal period. From the birth to 2 years of age is called infancy. From 2 years to 11 years, the period is childhood. The period from 12 years to 19 years is called adolescent stage. And the period after 19 years is called adulthood. Now let us discuss on infancy. What is infancy? After the birth of a child begins the infancy stage. Up to the completion of 2 years of age, this stage continues. This stage is called the constructive period because at this stage the future of a child depends. At this stage, the more supervision and guidance of a child is done, more is his development. The physical development of an infant in this period is very fast. Till the age of 2 years, the infant shows excitement only in the form of emotions. But by the age of 2 years, all the emotions develop in a child. There are mainly certain types of emotions seen like fear, anger, love and pain. At the end of infancy stage, a child develops social feelings like earlier, he liked to play alone and now he plays in group and loves to be with his peer group. At this stage, there is a fast development of mental activities like attention, memory, imagination, sensitivity, etc. At the end of infancy starts the childhood stage, which is the period from 2 years to 11 years. Childhood can be further divided into two. Early childhood, 2 years to 6 years. Later childhood, 6 years to 11 years. Let us discuss on the concept of early childhood. Early childhood begins at the age of 2 years and ends at 6 years of age. Teachers have called this stage at preschool as preschool stage and psychologists call it as pre-group stage. What are the main developments seen at this stage? Physical development. In early childhood, physical changes can be seen in boys as well as girls. This Changes are seen in the form of changes in body shape, change in weight, musical development, etc., muscular development, etc. Till the end of this stage, children have some permanent teeth growth. Then language development. At this stage, child is eager to learn to speak. The child learns to pronounce words by practice, frame words, sentences to speak, etc. Then there is emotional development at this stage. Some emotions can be seen in the child at this stage, which are seen in an adult. The only difference between the two is the way of expression of these emotions. These emotions include anger, fear, jealousy, curiosity, happiness, sadness, love, affection, etc. At this stage, the child expresses his anger by crying, throwing away any object, or by shouting. To express fear, the child either runs away or hides himself. To satisfy their curiosity, they ask many questions, and in case of jealousy, he compares his things with other children and demeans his own possessions, like my pencil is not good, my dress is now old, etc. When the child is happy, he claps or jumps to express his joy. When he is sad, he does not eat or play, etc. Then there is social development at this stage. At this stage, the child wants to establish social contacts. They learn to befriend children of their age. They love to play and talk with them. At this stage, one can see cooperation, sympathy, friendship, imitation, dependence, etc. in the child. But sometimes unsocial behavior also can be observed, like violence, argument, abuse, abusive language, bullying, etc. What about mental and emotional development at this stage? In early childhood, fast mental development can be seen in children and their cognitive ability also increases. As a result, the children can understand the things and activities around them. According to famous psychologist Piaget, the stage of concept development is the pre-reflective thinking stage. The thinking of children at this stage is not logical. At this stage, the concept of life, death, weight, number, distance, time, etc. develops. The child asks the questions what, how, why, where, etc. continuously. He develops the concept of life and death, but it is not clear to him. Therefore, he considers his toys, fan, and moving car as living things. Then let us discuss on later childhood. What is later childhood? Teachers call it the elementary school stage, and psychologists consider this stage as a teen group stage because at this stage the child starts growing for formal education, and it is important for them to be accepted by the other group members. The main development at this stage are these. Physical development. Physical development is much clearer at this stage, later childhood. The height of children increases by an average of 2 to 3 inches per year, and weight increases by an average 3 to 5 pounds per year. By the end of this stage, children have around 28 permanent teeth, and the rest 4 come at adolescence period. What about language development at this period? At this stage, language development is fast. Vocabulary building occurs at this stage. Children increase their vocabulary to a great extent by talking to teachers and people, by reading books and newspapers, by watching television, etc. Their pronunciation becomes clearer and starts using complex sentences even. What about the emotional development at later childhood? All those emotions found in early childhood are found in this stage too. But the way of expressing them is quite different. He knows that those emotions are not to be expressed which are unacceptable in society, like to be angry frequently, to cry, run away out of fear, etc. The child expresses anger only in specific situations when he is being blamed falsely or a comment is being passed unjustly upon him, etc. Similarly, in early childhood, the child expresses curiosity in all occasions, whereas at this stage, he expresses curiosity only for those things which are important for him. What about social development in later childhood? Since at this stage, child loves to be a part of group, and this leads to socialization. He learns many things from this group stage, like to take responsibility for some work, to take part in competition, to help in a work, develop social understanding in a child, etc. Sometimes there is a negative effect of this group on the child. As a result, he keeps the values and norms set by his group above the values and norms set by his parents, peer group influence. What about mental and emotional development at this later stage, later childhood stage? As compared to early childhood, the children of this stage are more developed. 90% of mental development is complete at this stage. According to Piaget, the previously learned concepts become more clear and concrete. Now the thinking of child becomes more logical and operational. For example, he understands 1 foot is equal to 12 inches and vice versa. He understands the concept of life and death very clearly. He can clearly distinguish between living and non-living things. He also understands the concept of money. He develops the capability to tell about the day, date, and month. He tries to extract meaning in a novel way from whatever he listens in the radio, sees on television, reads in the newspaper, and watching movies, etc. Dear friends, let us discuss about the concept of childhood in general. Usually, the developmental period between infancy and adulthood is called childhood period. Blair, Jones, and Simpson have defined childhood is the time when basic outlook, values, and ideals almost develop. The responsibilities for this development lie on parents, teachers, and society. According to biological definition, the period between the birth and adolescence is called the stage of childhood. United Nations Convention on the Right of the Child states, child is a human being below the age of 18 years unless under the law applicable to the child, the majority is attended earlier. The concept of childhood in India is not so clear because of no universal definition of this concept. According to various laws and policies, the current childhood period is considered up to 14 years, below 18 years according to some policies, and by some it is below 21 years. Therefore, to clarify the concept of childhood, National Policy for Children 2013 in India, it has given a definition and to equalize it at all levels. Indian government has to modify various laws accordingly. According to National Policy for Children 2013, all the people below 18 years of age can be called a child. Childhood is an important part of our life which has values at this stage for its overall and adjustable development and security, multi-domain, consolidated, assimilated approach is needed. So it is an important part of our life which should be lived out fully, and the parents, teachers, elders are responsible for the great growth of the child. Thank you very much, dear friends. Let us meet in other video lectures under different headings.